Okay, so here we're going to have to be a bit critical to Giannis's defense.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground and I go off.
Welcome to the channel. This is episode 1 of Giannis the Analyst, a channel that's going to be focusing solely on the performances of Giannis Antetokounmpo and the teams. He's currently performing with the Greek national team in the Eurobasket, but also in the Milwaukee Bucks in the States. As we know, Giannis is currently one of the best players. For me personally, I believe he's the best player in the world. I am a big fan. I've got his t-shirt, I've got his shoes. And what we're going to do is we're going to look into his performances. My background is in performance analysis. I've been analysing sports for the last 15 years. Gone to 3 Olympics, and this is my opportunity to give back since I've moved on from the analysis of elite sport. Via this channel, I'll do it for a hobby, analysing one of the athletes that I follow closely from the A2, which is the Division 2 of basketball. Giannis Antetokounmpo played for Philadelphia and got scouted, as we all know the story, all the way to the Milwaukee Bucks, who's currently playing for them still today. As we're currently speaking, I've got some bad news on the Greek front. The Greek national team lost to Germany quite emphatically, and this is why you're watching this episode, is we're going to go through from an analyst perspective what we think went wrong, what were the key performance indicators that can show what Greece needed to change if they wanted to have a chance to win. I can't believe we're saying this, since Germany wasn't one of the favourites for the competition, apart from being the home nation. So the competition was in Germany, in Berlin, and it was a huge upset. We had a few upsets in the Eurobasket. Jokic is out, Slovenia is out, lost to Poland. So Doncic, these guys are going to be resting for another season back in the States, which is coming very, very soon. So about today episode 1, we're going to break the episodes as an introduction in terms of what's going to happen. We're going to look at the stats in terms of identifying what were the areas that affected the win or the loss towards Giannis, what things he could have done and the team could have done to get better and potentially win the game. We're also going to analyze what broke down, especially in the defense. Was it the coach to do this? Was it the performance of the athletes? We're going to look at all of these, starting with the key performance indicators, which we've got a little bit of a presentation there, and then we're going to go into the video where we're going to annotate and analyze especially how Germany attacked Greece and where were the areas where they hit Greece hard with no response, and the response came on the second quarter after being hit on the first one. However, we'll see that even though we did have some adjustments, those adjustments weren't enough to push the needle towards Greece winning the game. First of all, let's go with the key performance indicators.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground and I go off.
Okay, here we are. Key performance indicators of Greece versus Germany. What can we see? We saw that I said 56 earlier. It's 46. Apologies. 46 rebounds for Germany compared to 32 to Greece. That's considering starting the team with Giannis and Giannis in the starting 5, and also after in the third quarter they started them as well. Another huge factor, as you can see, the 3-point percentage, 54.8% from Germany. This is not unfamiliar for this team. They're an extremely good shooting team. Obstas, it reminds me a bit of Robinson from the Miami Heat, how he does the hit and run out of the screen, you know that if he's going to catch the ball, he's going to be looking for a conversion of a 3-point line. And it's quite confusing when we see the video on how delayed or the one step behind following Obst throughout the screen. No switching on him or flash out and recover. So that was a big issue for Greece. We scored with 31%. We still had plus 90 points. The offense, even though it wasn't rolling as good as it has been in the past, if you get in a battleground with Germany, that is going to hurt you. For me personally, from what I've seen from the data and from the video, defense was the main reason that Germany was able to score this NBA score of 107 points. And they have done it numerous times in the group stage, so it's not something new. Let's see what else we have. The assists, Greece 19-16, taking the lead there. 24 fouls from Germany. These are areas where, obviously, if you're playing against Giannis, it's extremely hard to defend him, and you're going to foul him a lot and send him to the free throw line, which he had been performing really well. I believe previous to this game, he was this or the game before, he was at shooting 80% of his free throws. So really good improvement. If you have been following Giannis, you'll remember the countdowns in the NBA Finals. No countdowns here because the time for the free throw in the Euro basket is a lot less. So Giannis had to adapt to a shorter free throw routine. We'll see if that continues in the NBA. As we can see on the right, the score evolution. Germany had the foothold forward, and they continued pushing. Apart from that second, there was an adaptation. To this, brought on a shorter lineup, switched everything, and there was some success. Especially Larizakis had an enormous boost for Greece, shooting 4 out of 4 3-point from the 3-point line, and had defending Wagner and actually giving him a technical foul. He was great. He gave the boost that Greece needed. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to take the lead. Greece led only once, and if you watch the game, it was surprising how they came out on the third. But let's continue. Let's see the first quarter. We'll see the bombardment from Germany. What's that? 3, 6, 8 3-point. These are made. The dots are made points. And you can see pretty much Giannis and the 2 3-pointers from Dorsey on the other side. Germany came on strong. They were playing at home court advantage. Obviously that played a role, but the setup, I believe the setup for Greece, they either had too much information, and we'll see that with an occasion where Slukas and Kalathis get in a bit of confusion. Are we switching, or what is the plan around Schroeder and Wagner? Second quarter, we'll see decrease in the 3-point, and that was the reason how Greece came back in and made attempts. Obviously they didn't, they can't shoot 100% from the 3-point line, but they did remind me of Golden State, the way they were shooting during that game. What we'll see in the second quarter is that a lot of the points from Greece came from inside, and mainly from Giannis, getting free throw attempts on the 3-point conversions. And this third quarter, where Greece only scored 3 times. Yep, that's 3 times, and one of those 3-pointers is Giannis's. Not a good look for Greece. And you can see the bombardment from the left side and the inside, which is quite surprising. And we're going to still talk about the rebounds in a second. Further on the fourth, it was pretty much about a done deal. Giannis got another technical foul, and he had to leave the court. It was quite sad to watch as a basketball Giannis fan and also a Greek Greek supporter for my national team. Yeah, Daniel Theis. This man had 16 rebounds. I looked at that and I thought, surely this is wrong. But if we look at his average of the year, and average actually of the competition, he's averaging 6.7. 3 rebounds against Slovenia, 5 rebounds against Lithuania. And the reason for this is, I think Itoudis saw that the plan wasn't working and tried to switch things up, and that probably confused the setup for the players. And a lot of them, he had, let's see, 6 offensive rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds. That's ridiculous. So yeah, I believe one of the reasons, if you look at this is not the Eurobasket 6.7. This is the season. His average career, he averages around 6.7. And yes, that's what, 16 rebounds. I'll say it one more time from Theis, which had a huge impact because they were shooting a second chances for 6 times in the offense, and also the 10 rebounds. Huge. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to transition now into a bit of video analysis, and we're going to break down the Greek breakdown of their defense. Let's go.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Hit the ground.
Okay, here we are, 11-5 after the start of the first quarter, with Germany bombarding Greece, and we're going to try and break down what was the reason to this. As we can see the lineup, we've got Dorsey, Papagiannis, Kalathis, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Antetokounmpo in the Greek way, and Papanikolaou on the far right there. So let's look at this setup. So what Germany was trying to do, play a lot of pick and roll on the ball, also pick away from the ball towards Obst and Wagner to get the 3-pointers, and it was very, very, very successful. Greece had no answer. Let's look at this. Easy Theis screen. Obviously Kalathis could work through the screen and follow through on Schroeder, but I believe what the information was for him was to go behind the screen. If you can see my arrow here, behind the screen, Papagiannis to drop to give him room and pop out on the 3-point line. But what Theis did very successfully and was quite clever, he would screen kind of the Kalathis and stay in the way for him to force Papagiannis to drop even further down, and that caused a lot of room. We'll see here. Papagiannis is trying to give him room. Kalathis is no attempt to push through the screen. That ends up with Schroeder having a lot of time. It's pretty much training from here. These guys don't miss like when they're free open like this. Even Schroeder, who someone can argue that he's not the best shooter. Let's see the next one. So we have Dorsey and Giannis. I'm not sure what's happening here. So Dorsey's going behind Giannis. I have got no words for this play. Let's see that again. So we've got a give and go, Schroeder. He's going to open up onto the other side, and I believe what Giannis is trying to give room. I'm not sure what's going on here. Dorsey is trying to go behind Giannis. So they might be thinking that they're going to switch this, but no, they don't switch. No one jumps onto the ball. Again, an easy 3. Well, it was a long 3, but these guys, just with the momentum they were having, you can't let them shoot these. Third position, let's see. Okay, so here we're going to have to be a bit critical to Giannis's defense. So we're either going to switch this from the screen, or we're going to stop that run and give time for the defender to recover. Let's see what happens. Screen there. Giannis is, return. Screen there, way too low. So Giannis is dropping into the basket. It seems like he hasn't seen what has been going on in the game and how successful they've been shooting the basket from the 3-point line. Even though this is a layup, it could have easily been a free shot. We see here the screen. Giannis is dropping down. If I can pause this in time. So we see Giannis down. He's not giving help against Wagner. And Tice is sitting on the 3-point line. So you would want to see Giannis a lot closer to the action. But no. And this was an easy layup not easy, but he made it. And these guys do make these shots. Okay, let's go on to the third one. We've got the same play. They were doing this over and over again. This time we've got Dorsey. We've got a double screen. Giannis again is giving help on the strong side. And we see this coming through. The same give and go as before, as we saw with the confusion with Dorsey and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Exactly the same confusion. It's almost like there's no plan on this switch. Are we switching or are we staying with our man? It's almost like a malfunction. Let's see that again. We'll see it once through. This situation happened over and over again. It's just frustrating to watch. Kalathis is not staying, he's not switching, he's not staying with his man. He's just going to make that. He's been making it in the first 15 minutes of the game. And you can see them, it's almost like Kalathis knew that the confusion was there. Lucas was looking back at him saying, what is the plan? How are we going to deal with this? 50-51, this is when Greece came back. Let's see, we're watching this live. I've done the analysis earlier, so the same play, exactly the same play. Now, what's happened here is Lucas got really close to him. For him to be able to help, he will need a bit more Giannis involved in there, because Tice has got the free room. Giannis should be pushing Tice not to be able to get in position. Someone can argue that Giannis is playing on the weak side, but if you look where Schroeder is, Giannis is very athletic. He can very easily recover from that position, and he's done it in the finals. He's in the NBA. He can very easily recover to stop the basket. So Schroeder is right in the middle of the basketball court there. So Giannis, there's no need for Giannis to be that deep into the paint. He should be helping out Kostas with bothering Tice not to be able to sit, to take his time and take the screen to an area where Slukas is going to be behind. Slukas is trying to chase. Giannis is down in the paint. Extremely hard. This was the reason. This down off the ball screen, not being able to follow with the players, and on the screen, confusion about who's switching, who's going through the screen by the big guy allowing room to go through. And as I said, it's quite hard to watch. Okay, so that was the defensive, the court defense. Now, what we're gonna summarize everything, and hopefully we'll have. I didn't want to open the Giannis the Analyst with a bad episode for Giannis, because this is supposed to be analyzing his successes and the amazing athlete that he is. But unfortunately, I aim to analyze this and hopefully the semi-finals and the finals for Greece, but we're going to have to wait now. until the NBA starts, which is not long. I'm sure Giannis is going to take a bit of a break from this. So I'll catch you on the next episode on Giannis the Analyst.
Run it, I can't take no loss.